Welcome, Painful Life. I am Paint, and today we thought. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am Pain. This is the Painful Life, or the Pynn Fool Life, or whichever you might want to call it. And today we are doing some Easter stuff since, well, it's that time of the month. So, well, not that time of the month, but it's time of the year actually for bunnies and chicks and stuff. So I thought I'd do a drawing of an Easter bunny and some little chicks. Now I haven't done this. I just kind of picked up some pictures off of the internet and looked through some cute little bunny pictures, and I have been doing some drawings of bunnies and stuff, so I have an idea how I need to do it. We'll see if this kind of turns out right or not. And let's get started. The picture I'm doing today is a little white bunny with a big old pile of little baby chicks everywhere. And the stuff you really need to know when drawing bunnies and chicks are these two shapes: the oval, the other way oval, and circles. Well, those are pretty much all you need. Maybe some triangles, for like beaks and stuff, but that's all you really need to learn how to do is ovals at different sizes. Another oval on this side for the cheeks, some ears, some more ears, and then you just kind of measure them in, and after a while you've got some bunnies. And you just kind of do a bunny ears, bunny eyes on the side, fill it in, and that's the basics of a bunny. A very crude drawing of a bunny. And then you just, flush it out. You want bigger cheeks or do you want smaller cheeks? And if they're on a different side, then it's more rounded. Side view and stuff, and eye on one side, nose on the side, ears, depending on which way they're looking down. Well, that looks weird. Depending on which way they're looking and stuff, sometimes you can add a little extra cheek on the one side and bringing it up. But depending on which angle you're looking at, it's pretty much just ovals and circles, depending on the angle. And of course, chicks, they're pretty much just a circle, beak, another circle, bigger circle, a little bit of wing. And chicks, their feet are like way oversized. Maybe not that big oversized, but that's pretty much the shape of a chicken, or a chick, or a chicken. I have someone doing something, but those are as simplified as you can get. Let's get started on here. I'm going to do a little bit, I'm going to have the bunny ears come up here. I try to block it off a little bit. And bottom of the bunny down here, I'm going to have kind of make it look like they're on a stump or something like that. I might need it a little bit wider if I want to get some chickens in. Maybe some baby chicks. Can kind of do that. Okay, so I want this bunny kind of facing this way. So the ears will be up here, so I want his head. It's kind of an oval, kind of an upside down egg itself. And then on the other side, and then you want to have its cheeks, so just do an oval on the bottom. And depending on how far down they're looking and stuff, you can always have the oval a little bit narrower. A little bit further down, so he's looking down and has a little bit more forehead. You can always reshape the forehead. And his nose is usually just a little, he's kind of looking that way, so he doesn't really have his eyes. I'll try to get a picture of his eyes. You can just kind of barely see his left one, and his eyes are about right here. His other eye is pretty much, they're round with a little bit of end on here. Make sure I have his other eye over here. His nostrils, you might have to adjust a little bit. His nostrils are just little, pretty much slits, almost like a V shape. So you can't just do a plain old V shape and then just a little bit of a mouth. His chin's kind of down a bit. And you can kind of see his angling of his face. His cheeks are a bit on the big side. But sometimes you have the dewlap that's underneath it, and they can be more poofy depending on boy or girl. And Maria, get a little ear action going on over here. And his ears kind of turned out a bit. This is kind of pointed, and then a little bit of rear. You can always adjust their ears as needed. And he's got a little bit of a gel. But yeah, his face is kind of more pointy, but then he has a little dewlap over here. He's got a little dewlap in his jollies, kind of where his mouth is. And then he's got a little bit of a chin underneath, so you just kind of do some erasing as you need it. With him being a white bunny, it's kind of harder to tell. And then his nose kind of goes in line with his eyes, so I might want to move that one eye over just a little bit, just to do a circle. And this nostril kind of goes in line here, so this eye is about where it needs to be. Has a little bit of a thingy. I think it's his little tear duct or whatever they call them. Now, rabbits, their eyes are pretty much all black. And then they have that one little kind of... You need help out? No? You good? Alright. This ear is... Dude, really? That rabbit's gonna hurt you. I have a rabbit as well. And then she's got a body, or he, or whatever it is. I don't want them that big, because I pretty much have... It's got a little paw out here, because most of him is covered up by the little chicks. So we're gonna have a chick here, the main body of the chick here, with the head kind of looking in that direction, going that way. So we're just gonna put some, making him as big as we want. So all it is pretty much a head. We'll be adding some fur, of course. You can make his dewlap as big as you want. And then we have another chick over here. And it's just a big old puff ball. With his head kind of sticking out this looking over here as well. With his big old round eye. They have like a little bit of a thing over here. Hello. All of them are active today. And then we got some other chickies behind him too. So just kind of trying to get him in place, and he's got a little bit of a... My rabbit is ugly. Well, I'm gonna go a little bit further and see if I can clean him up a little bit. Because a lot of times when you're just getting sketchy, you're like, oh my god, this is so ugly. So ugly, so ugly. He's gonna be kind of looking this way, so he'll have a little beak right here, big eye here, you can barely see a little eye over here. Maybe having, it's kind of a flop of a rabbit. And maybe having another chick just kind of sneaking and licking over his shoulder. That's a kind of a sketching of it. I can always put one more chick right in the front. That way I can cover his leg. If I don't want to put a leg in there, I can just put another chick right in front. And you can do all kinds of things. And now we need to define him a little bit. This one's kind of looking like an alien. But you don't know what you can draw or what you need to improve until you actually kind of do it. Having his foot kind of just sticking out. I can always have the rabbit in front of it, or the chicken in front of it, the chick. Move his foot over a little bit. A lot of times their fur will actually just kind of be right over the top. So yeah, and just kind of sketch until you get an idea of what you want. Okay, got some chickies. Got some chickies over there. You know, depending on if you're going to be coloring this in, depending on how much detail you want, if you want it kind of like just a sketch, or if you want something that's a cartoonish. Chicken eyes are like full on big and round. Give them some big old anime eyes. And then just kind of handy dandy new sharpener. And then just kind of get some little feathers. They're not quite fully developed feathers yet, so they're just kind of more little fluffy buddies. And let's get some, though they do usually have some good nails. Ever seen like even just a baby chicks or any type of baby animal? They usually have some sharp. Have you ever been stabbed by a kitten? They usually got some sharp freaking nails. Get some fluffy. This is where his kind of breast and his little wings would be. So get him some thingies, and get his beak in here, and it kind of hanging up, and always a little bit of underneath. And then another, but it bring his eye up a little bit more. A little cheeky fuzz. Little cheeky fuzz. I'll probably use some pen in here later. A lot of times they'll have some darker spots right behind the eye. And he's got a little bit of a wing, just like the other one. You might just have a little bit of a nose peeking out there. And this one's kind of tilted because he's kind of looking down at his brothers, going, "Why are we in this pile? Why are these humans putting us in this pile?" Because we are weird and we like to take pictures of cute fuzzy things, right? A little bit of a cheek with that dewlap. I'm going to give him a bigger dewlap because I know my rabbit, she's female, and she's got a big old floppy. Half the time when she sits down, her dewlap just covers her feet. Let's give him a little bit bigger beak. Get him a little bit of a beak. He's got more of a chunky beak. Give him a little nostril on top. That's another thing. They usually do have some nostrils on here because every animal needs to breathe. Let's give him a little bit of that. Give him some little fluffies. Now I'm doing this in a little bit of a darker. I usually would do it this lighter and then fill it in with ink. But since I want to make sure this is sane, I should probably make sure it's actually leveled. And then we got some eyes over here, looking this way. Yeah, when you're sketching, make sure you don't do it as dark. This is kind of a tree stump, I guess, or something. Hopefully it's not a... Sometimes they use the stump for other things. And then he's kind of in front of his little brother. And that's all you really need to do to get started with sketching it. And then you just kind of come through here and you can lightly get rid of some of these lines, and then you just kind of go over with a pen to fill it in. And either you can leave it as is and have your kids come by and color it in and turn it into like an Easter card or something like that if you want. Or you can fill it in with some little pencil, little watercolor, whatever you want to do. Make the chickies all yellows and oranges and just pretty little colors. I am going to go and pencil this in with a little bit of, this is a number 5 micron, so let's get this all done. Fill this in, and I will fast forward through this. So. Okay, well, this is pretty much done. Now, you can always fill it in and color it in. My rabbit kind of looks like an alien or a cat or something. The chicks actually turned out really, really cute. They're very simple to do, like I said. They use pretty much 2 round circles with a triangle is pretty much the chicken. And you can, like, ink them in any way you want with just a little pen. I should put, like, a mask on this guy. He looks like he's wearing a mask, or he's, like, very surprised all of a sudden. I totally forgot to do his little white on his eyes, and probably should have redid his head a little bit, but you know, not too bad for just a quick sketch. And you don't really get better unless you actually do it. And you know, first time doing some little baby chickies, and it's kind of cute. But yeah, you can just do the full-on, just kind of flisky ones, or just the little back and forth type of motions. I kind of like the ones instead of the little single sketch type of ones. I kind of like these ones a little better, where they're just kind of back and forth, and then just kind of add some shadowing underneath the wings wherever you might need some extra little shadowing, and then just get some of your favorite colored pencils or watercolors. This would probably be cute to do as a watercolor as well. This is not watercolor paper, it's a little bit too thin, it's more of a sketchy one. I might go and fill it in and pencil a little bit later, and maybe have the finished product done as a thingy. But you know, if you're just trying to practice and learn to do things, you know, whatever season it is, go and you know, try to learn how to do Easter bunnies, little chickens. At spring, do some flowers and stuff, and just draw, and every day you will improve. Still need to work on some of my rabbits. The other rabbit turned out really, really cute. Might have to try to redo that one, which is like rabbit with a bow tie and everything. Like some days they turn out really cute, and the next day when you try to reproduce it, they come out looking like aliens. But every day you will get a little bit better, so don't be afraid to show your art and, put something up, even if it's just like on a Facebook or Instagram, or if full on, this is not really a tutorial, but it's a way to it's a getting started, and everybody needs to get started. I've been doing this for a couple months, so every picture is a step forward. Every drawing is a step forward, so keep drawing, keep moving forward, and save some of your progress and redo some of the same things a year later and see how far you've come. So don't give up if your animals look weird. Some days you're gonna hit it out of the park, and some days it's gonna end up in a pile of recycling. But don't give up, keep going, and that's all you can really do. Keep improving. Next year I'll try to make the same picture, possibly, and, a little bunny and some chicks, and see if I can make my bunny more realistic. Maybe by next year I can do a full-on painting of it. Like I said, I did a cute little painting last time with a watercolor, and it turned out pretty good. And this time it was a quick, fast sketch, so I'm sure if I take more time with it, working out the sketch itself, and then doing it. But every half hour that you work is progress. Practice makes better. So make it better. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see my art journey unfold and see, like I said, I've been doing this for about 2 or 3 months. And if you want to stick around and see where I'm at in a year and how far I progress, and if I do anything with this art down the road, if I can start to the point of selling stuff, it's like, you look at some of this art that people are getting selling, it's like, well, I could do that. And you do it and you're like, somewhat I can do that. Alright, I will see you next time. Love y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. I am so close to 100 subscribers. Well, maybe by the time I put this thing up, it will be at 100, and if it is, thank you everyone. I'll see you next time. I've got more projects I'm working on, some paper mache. These things are a freaking mess to do. On to the next project.